Hello to the two fans and welcome. This is Chicago Ted coming to you with another episode of the Golden Aegis cast series. This time it's going to be replay ID number 152982463. So thank you very much for the donation and I hope you enjoy the show. Getting to move on in here for the rated team. It's going to be Loki's on the Earth Spirit with Lars Ern on the Clockwork. Inu no Thosho going to be playing the Keeper of the Light with Merkman86 on the Faceless Void. And Dopey playing the Shadow Fiend, starting out with some early aggression in the chat. Meanwhile, for the Dire team, it's going to be My Little Coney, 2012 on the Sven with Jack Attack. Jack is back on the Queen of Pain. Senpai, please notice me, no, on the Bounty Hunter with Liking My Chances. On the Earthshaker, I don't know. I guess he's liking his chances with the techies on his team. Yamful going to be playing the techies, the most dreaded hero in these replay casts, the cream of the crop, the master of disaster, and the keeper of the 80-minute game. So we'll have to see, though, if this one actually goes that long or if we see a quick one. I've seen techies games go 20 minutes. I've seen techies games go beyond the end of time. So I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye on this one. Well, we kind of have to. Looks like Dopey going to go for the mid top rune, but Senpai, he wants to try to steal it. Can he actually get it off? It looks like he will not. Dopey grabs it. Senpai, running out of his invis, will walk away. Meanwhile, Merkman gets the bottom rune. Now trying to fight. I'm liking my chances, but I'm liking his ability to get away here as he's got down to about half HP. Merkman, very unhealthy as we have another Fisher coming out. It's going to catch him on the back, but of course this was a Shadow Strike out for Jack Attack level 1, so he doesn't have any blink to chase. Instead, they're kind of happy with the damage they were able to get onto him. He only has 4 tangos, so his sustain in this lane is going to suck quite a bit. Meanwhile, Keeper doesn't have any sentry wards, so I guess he's just checking into the secret shop to see if there's a techies there. But the mines are already placed. Like, they're down, they're ready to go, and anyone who walks over, oh god, oh god. This is keeping me on the edge of my seat here. Looks like they won't actually get caught in by it, Merkman. What are you actually? I don't.
That's a first blood.
Okay, I don't know what I expected there, to be perfectly honest. Merkman will give up first blood to Yamful. And that's, I mean, first blood, you can kind of assume that it'll always go to the techies player, but you kind of never really want that to happen. They're going to give away an early soul ring, and that's going to allow techies to roam around, find mines anywhere and everywhere on the map. And it doesn't look like Radiant have too many good wards for it, too. They've got the one Observer ward on the top rune spot, but the bottom rune spot's completely open. So any mines in this vicinity that usually get placed either on the high grounds or on the mines on the rune spot, which he has placed one already. I mean, none of that's got vision, so you're really struggling to keep an eye out for those techies mines. And if anyone goes for the rune, like Jack Attack, known to go for the rune, and he'll just blow up. Speaking of Jack, he's got himself his bottle out. Can he bring it out to the courier? Or on the courier pretty soon, though. A bottle's already out for Dopey, and he's got an Invis rune up available, so he's eating some Shadow Strike, can't bottle up the rest of it, but he'll be able to do so right about now, and be just fine in lane as far as sustain goes. So a bottle Shadow Fiend is a very, very happy Shadow Fiend. Looking up to the top, it's actually a really tough lane for this Sven. Clockwork and Earthshaker being very aggressive heroes, allowing for a massive load of damage to come out just from counter initiations alone. They're not exactly known for their hard initiations, but they can do it once level 6 comes, or at least if Lars Ern can get in the rune, get in the way for a cog block. Looks like he's going for the Rocket Flare and the Battery Assault, though, which is good for chasing, but not really for locking anyone into a small place. And you know, given their lineup, I don't think they really mind about that. But My Little Coney is going to go ahead and disconnect, in which we've got a nice little ability to skip past that. We have a bit of a chat war coming out.
All right, carry on.
Whatever the case in that one, we are past the pause here. Although My Little Coney's continuing to walk. Oh, okay, so he did reconnected. Initially, you've still got to have that reconnect in total. So he'll be back in the game. Has to get a little bit away from the lane. So obviously not his ideal situation, but, you know, given the situation, they probably could have unpaused a lot earlier, so I guess you should count your blessings for that one. But he's going to be sitting level 3, just about hitting level 3. Well, Bounty Hunter, his counterpart, is level 3.5. Everyone in the other team, Clockwork now, almost level 4. Loki's about halfway through level 3 as well. Yeah, Paul's still putting mines in this bottom rune spot. He's got 2 mines there, so he should have a third coming up. Yeah, 3 mines in total. They do catch him out, though, with the Illuminate. So I think they have every idea that this rune spot is being mined, but a lot of things can kind of fall to the wayside as far as remembering it goes, and they're going to have to be very, very careful about it as well. I mean, it's 3 mines at the level... I'm guessing 1 or 2 of them was level 1 mine, but now that most recent one was a level 2 mine, so about 300 to 375 per mine. Physical, of course. Not enough to really kill anyone, but still enough to hurt quite a bit. Speaking of kills, top lane, My Little Coney on the run. Battery Assault will jump to a creep in the most pivotal of moments, and so My Little Coney will walk away from this one scarred but not dead, which I guess is the better of the two. And just like that, we're going to see the lanes kind of settle down to play slowly from here on out. I mean, doesn't seem like Inunotosho is going and being aggressive on the lake in my chances. And Mickman as well, or Merkman as well, is playing this one very safe, very back, going just for CS. Top lane, though, maybe they try to find a kill, but Loki's not quite able to find the line correctly with his boulder. And, I mean, again, no one really dying, no kills really happening, just a spread of passivity, really, if that's even a word. I know I've heard other casters say it, but I guess I should break the cycle. So Dopey, his farm's looking really well in the mid lane, 17-7. The Queen of Pain, though, 14-12. Those extra 5 last hits probably helping him out in a little bit of experience. I mean, you can see, okay, he's only got 6 extra experience, so I'm guessing Dopey has made up for it, but he's actually looking for the kill here. One more right click could have been enough, but the blink out from Jack Attack will keep him alive. And looks like Shadow Fiend, is he bottle crowing? Yes, he is. So his bottle's going to be coming out to him soon. Letting Clockwork get the invisibility rune, as he does have his own bottle ready to go. And that's a good invis rune to get. Allows the Clockwork to get in position and drop down a Cogs and the Battery Assault onto really anyone that he wants to. I guess the target would most likely be My Little Coney, as, I mean, you can just invisible out of it. If you're a Senpai, please notice me, but they have a dust? Yeah, they do not. So Senpai probably can just go invis at this flick of a wrist, but looks like he actually might get himself in a terrible situation here if he decides to go for an attack on either one of these two. Looks like, for now, still gonna play it back, just scouting out, gathering as much information as possible. We're feeding it right back to My Little Coney and letting that be it for now. Still, we don't have any mana leak on a Keeper of the Light, so they aren't able to really aggress onto anyone. I mean, mana leak's really good against the Anvil just to keep his mana pool low, though he does have the Soul Ring, which allows him to suicide at any given moment. Merkman's going for like in my chances. The Fisher will come out, stunning Merkman and keeping him back. I mean, pre-level 6 Void is a tough Void to get kills with. Usually comes off the back of a lucky first hit bash or whatnot, but as far as this goes, I mean, we're sitting a max 30 CS, or 27, I guess, at 7.5 minutes. So pretty slow on the net worth boards. We can see, though, Jack Attack wants to try to alleviate that a little bit. Comes in through the bottom lane. He could very well find Inunotosho. They'll come forward with Merkman, though. Turns around and just completely annihilates Merkman. With a Sonic Wave, though, Earthshaker will walk forward for a Fisher and ends up getting himself killed to a creep. A very interesting play by him, but Jack Attack with a quick kill here. On the Faces Void, no less. Definitely a good kill for the Dire to put in their pockets. And it's going to help him out a good amount here as he walks over, grabs a haste rune, and makes his way back towards mid. Now, he's going to have to bottle himself up to a reasonable amount of mana before he can maybe try to bring down Dopey. For now, I mean, 10 minutes in, this Queen of Pain is doing all right.
Missing top.
Still back on the CS board, though. Her net worth from that kill probably close by, 500 behind, so still not that optimal. But again, I mean, getting that kill, getting the experience from the kill, sitting level 8 now, 8.5. Just a little bit behind Dopey, which is understandable given he went for the game. My Little Coney in the top, though. He'll go out for the Stormhammer. It will connect into both of them. Loki's will finally get the kill, but ends up going down to Senpai, Please Notice Me. Making it a 1-for-1, but an offlaner for carry is definitely a trade that I think they're happy to take right here. As the score sits now 2 for 3, we can go to the net worth in tow and see that Bounty Hunter got a pretty decent chunk of change for that kill there as he's sitting just behind the Queen of Pain Jack Attack. But Dopey's still at the top of the board, and I mean, it's a Shadow Fiend. He can easily stay this high and not really have any cares in the world about it. Not really stacking any camps. So if he does want to go to the jungle, he's only going to get a minimal efficiency out of that. It looks like a rotation might be coming in from Yamful. I don't know. He's got the Tranquil Boots. I don't think he can really do too much. Jack Attack's in a lot of trouble. But once again, 2 raises coming out is not enough to bring down the Queen of Pain. Still looking for that one final right click to bring her down. And the blink away, just can't seem to get it off. So what is this now? 2 mines, still 3 mines. Yamful going for the 2 mines up in the top rune spot to keep her eyes there.
Yes, perfect location.
So it looks like now Senpai will make his way back up to the top lane. All right, so went back to base to heal himself up, and now looking to be aggressive again. Now they do have the techies in close by as well, so a suicide is on. Oh wait, no, it is not. Not putting any points in the Suicide Squad attack. Instead, going only for the remote, the landmines and the stasis traps. Not really a sustainable approach here, but it's going to be a hook in, a cogs, trying to keep him out, but I mean, the Sonic Wave comes through, does way too much damage. Now Lara's arm in a lot of trouble here as he'll go down as well. Senpai will get the double kill off that, and that will put him now above the Queen of Pain. But more importantly, that gets him his level 7, which means the tracks are ready to fly. That is a major, major point in this game.
Dyer's mid tower could use a little help.
May have been a double kill for Yamful if he had gone
mid-tower
for the
is
suicide,
nothing
but
now.
I guess in the end, pretty good that he did not. Or, I don't know, I'm not really able to pass that judgment right now. I haven't really seen the techies impact so far in this game. Jack Attack, though, looking after Dopey. I mean, Dopey's got 1 bottle charge. Jack Attack has the extra 300 damage burst, magical of course, so with about 25% of that being reduced, 2 shots will bring the charge. Okay, well, we see one with the Stormhammer. Dopey dropping very low. Can get the Requiem off, will drop a double Requiem out onto My Little Coney and out onto Jack Attack, but neither one taking enough damage to send them to the grave. Rather, they'll both get away relatively healthy. And that'll give Jack Attack a decent chunk of change as well now to get him higher up on the board. Still trailing behind Dopey, but not by as much. As Merkman now going to time walk away. But Jack Attack is in close by. Doesn't have a Sonic Wave, so instead has to rely on right clicks, but don't quite have enough damage. Now the Illuminate will fly through. It will miss barely on the Jack Attack and liken my chances. And Merkman should be in the clear for now. Though he's still got to constantly be careful. One blink into a Scream of Pain, maybe they can bring him down. Maybe they can do some substantial damage to him. But they're going to go out, and with the Enchant Tome, the Fish will fly onto Ending Othosho. They want to bring him down the Keeper of the Light, and it looks like they will. A Mana Leak comes out to Jack Attack, but he doesn't have to move. Instead, liking my chances going under tower. Not sure what his plan is here. He'll instead walk away. Yamfo coming in, looking for the Stasis Trap. Will get it out into some creeps. Might even catch Loki's in this one. In fact, he will. But Lars Arm comes in with the hook, but can't follow up on it. Instead, the Rolling Boulder comes through, looking to stun, looking to silence, looking for anything. He's got to magnetize out, but the Fisher, the Echo Slam comes through. Lars Arm dropping very low after the Sonic Wave. Jack Attack will try to go on to Merkman, but they've got... Oh, okay. That was a hell of a mine, but Yamfo will end up bringing down Merkman, and the Dire pulling ahead. They're now 9 to the Radiant's 3. And overall, taking a couple of pretty
Dyer's
decent
mid-tower
engagements.
won't last much longer.
Milo Cooney now walking around the bend, but Yanful will make his way on up, trying to go after Dopey. The courier will fly through, and Yanful now looking for his Urn of Shadows. Catches out Dopey, who is not invisible, so they have every idea
Dyer's
he's there, but they
mid-tower
just don't
could use a
care
little
about the
help.
Shadow Fiend. Instead, he'll TP himself on out. Shuriken toss, no. And now in the Thosho, being an absolute nuisance here, demining the bottom rune spot, which, I mean, only had 3 mines, about, as we said, about 975 damage on that mine stack, so not enough to really kill anyone. You can talk about 587 HP with 27%, so give or take less than a third. So, okay, maybe 800 about, or 700 rather, damage is definitely enough to bring down the Keeper of the Light. Not really enough for the Faceless Void or anyone really important, though. As they come in with a Storm Hammer and with a Shuriken Toss as well, does a pretty decent chunk of damage. Mana Leak will stop Senpai from chasing, though. He doesn't have any mana to continue dealing any damage through his spell usage, and instead, looks like the God Strength used for nothing, though. Jack Attack will TP himself out. Magnetize flies, but doesn't connect on anyone now. With Fisher Block and Loki's caught way out as Senpai will grab the kill, though. Still no tracks, no mana to drop any tracks here. And so the Dire not getting everything out of that one that they could have, but still, alright. Larazarn now in a bit of trouble, liking my chances with the Fisher. Now Sonic Wave or Scream of Pain, and a couple wayward right clicks, a couple daggers to the back. Even the strongest armor can't block the sharpest dagger. And so Clockwork going to take a fall here, as it's now 3-11 at 15 minutes. Though Shadow Fiend's still farming relatively well. Let's see if he can find a kill off this one. He has 36 souls. He's going to drop a Requiem onto all 3 of them. 2, though, take a massive load of damage. He'll die, though, dropping a second Requiem. This should secure the kill on My Little Pony Coney, as Jack Attack getting caught in the Chronos Rift, actually liking my chances, who should drop to it. Though a Sonic Wave, a Scream of Pain, again mixing those up. But Scream of Pain comes out and will bring down Merkman. And in the end, Jack Attack, the sole survivor for the engagement from the Dire team in the bottom lane. But Radiant losing 2 as well. Though I think that exchange favors the Radiant just slightly, only because of how far ahead the Dire are. And I mean, actually the Dire aren't that far ahead. So you can see the little dip up or incline. Now immediately going right back down because the Dire, well, they're farming really quickly. But just a slight incline after the back of that fight, just because of how shallow the advantage is at this point. Still 5-13 at 16 minutes, and the Dire controlling this game pretty consistently. In fact, Jack Attack now is leading the net worth board, now surpassing Dopey for the first time, and I think this game he's doing that. That's a pretty big achievement for him, but all in all, that's not really what you really want out of your Shadow Fiend. You want him to be able to flash farm everything and be the top of the net worth for pretty much the entire game, or at least until your hard carry surpasses him. But right about now, I mean, I guess he kind of wishes he had a jungle camp to stack or farm or a free lane, as in the bottom lane, speaking of free, it's going to be a free kill for Lycan My Chances, as Loki's will get brought down. Lycan still chasing 1,300 gold, so looking for that blink, though, won't be able to grab it for another 700 to 900 gold, as Merkman now might be in a little bit of trouble. Do they have a Sonic Wave? They do not. 23 seconds. So Merkman will get himself away, but Jack Attack not going to let this one go without a fight, though. The hook shot will lock him in. Does he have a blink? He does not. He'll get taken down underneath the tier 1 bottom and give away a cool 738 gold for that one death. Meanwhile, My Little Coney will go ahead and bring down the top tier 1 tower, so I guess not a complete loss for the Dire team, though. Actually, that was a deny, so it is a pretty big loss for the Dire team, giving away a pretty large chunk of gold to the Radiant side, though. It looks like, who was the one, Clockwork, to get that kill? No, Keeper of the Light got the kill, so at the very least, he's not the bottom of the net worth board, but I guess they kind of wish that might have gone to someone like the Faceless Void.
Boom,
Meanwhile, Milo Coney looking to try to get some revenge for the tier 1 top as he pushes down the enemies, the Radiant's tier 1, but it looks like with Loki's coming on into this one, they don't want to push any further. Larzarn going to make his way up as well with the bottle, now purchasing up a Ring of Regen. And so with 5 seconds on the hook, not enough mana for a hook and a cogs, so where did Shadow Fiend actually die? Alright, so Shadow Fiend walking over a Mind Stack in the enemy jungle. Oh boy, or his own jungle rather, was the enemy for the techies. That is unfortunate, but such is the way of techies. What? Okay, this one I gotta see. Alright, so a beautiful Chronosphere locking him underneath the tier 1 tower. That makes a whole hell of a lot more sense. They had the Illuminate to fly through as well. A very nice and clean kill for the Radiant side, and that was what I was talking about. You know, you kind of hope that your Faceless Void gets these kills. Now he's got one. And that'll be... Oh, Loki's catching himself up on the high ground, but I'll be quite happy to take that one to the bank. Going for the Mask of Madness, so looking for that extra attack speed in the Chronosphere. And Yamful, now with a double damage rune to his name, or at least scouting out the DD, though. They've got Loki's checking this one out, so they know the Mind Stack is there. And even though Jack Attack has a double damage rune, that's not the most important information they got out of that one. Hook's ready, though, for Larzarn. It looks like he's holding back on it just for now, as a Rolling Boulder will get Loki's off of the high ground and onto another high ground, though this one doesn't have anything blocking it. He'll just walk through the trees and out to safety. So Mask of Madness, in the meantime, getting picked up by the Faceless Void. Mercman going to try to farm out because of that one. You can farm pretty quickly, too. I mean, sitting on 50 CS in 20 minutes, not ideal, but his net worth will start climbing very quickly. Now that Mask of Madness is completed, he'll be able to move quickly through the jungle cramps and bring him down very quickly as well. Meanwhile, Bounty Hunter finding the Bounty Rune. And then Mercman might see a little bit of trouble from Lycan My Chances, but who's actually chasing who? As a Mana Leak will come out onto Lycan, though he's got an Invis Rune, so he'll be underneath. Oh, he's still underneath the Sentry Ward. They have full vision of him. Jack Attack is waiting in the wings, but he can't do anything for his Earth Shaker. Meanwhile, Earth Spirit comes in. Looking at My Coney, though, a Storm Hero will come through, stun Loki's and Inno Thosho. Now with the Shuriken Toss, still no tracks, not yet, but a Sonic Wave will fly through. Loki's will drop as well as Inno Thosho. Larzarn now running away. The track will come out to him, so they got full vision of him. The blink forward, the Scream of Pain, and they will bring down a triple for Jack Attack. A track kill on the back of that, and plenty of gold to be had for the Dire team, as they are now sitting 18 to the 8 of the Radiant side. All the while, Techies will pick up an Earnest or a Yule Scepter, so not too shabby for the Techies player. Jack Attack, meanwhile, still with a double damage rune, has a little bit of time left on it. So maybe if they can find a kill, maybe on the Dopey, the track will come out, and though Senpai is going to chase the track, actually keeping him in full vision. The movement speed, helping Senpai, please notice me, to get up. Only one more attack is all he needs, but he pushes him forward. He's just got to chase, but he's not going to go underneath the tier 1 tower. Instead, Jack Attack still chasing. He had a blink, but didn't want to spend it. Didn't want to catch himself in too bad of a position just to get a track kill on the Shadow Fiend, though. May have been worth it. Decided it was not. So the Shadow Fiend, while that's happening, will grab himself a Yasha for a little bit of extra movement speed, though he moves 355. Without the Shadow Blade proc, now he'll move a cool, quick 390. Another double Stormhammer comes out from Milo Coney on top of catching multiple people in those. And though it will catch 2, still not going to be able to go any further on that. Though they'll rotate in with Dopey. Shadow Blade down. And oh boy, this could be trouble. Though he's still underneath his own tier 1 tower. If he pushes any further up ahead, he could be in a lot of trouble. But he's hanging back. It's another double damage rune spawning. Lycan My Chances will find him. Oh, God. Finds a double kill on Larzarn and Loki's in the middle lane. Okay, the trash talk. I'm sorry. This has to be seen. What do we got here? Okay, so it was a mine. I had a feeling. I don't usually look elsewhere for those type of kills, but it technically was a mine kill, so I don't feel too bad about it. But Still a kill regardless. And they both will go the way of liking my chances, giving him a nice chunk of gold after that one. Still fourth lowest on the board. Will have his Blink Dagger at the ready. And now he can just be a little bit more aggressive, though he's underneath an Observer Ward. So too is Urinful, or a Yonful. As they will spot out this mine to fly. And immediately, Dopey will take care of it as they've got a Sentry Ward. It looks like they got 2 Sentry Wards down. Actually, a Sentry and an Observer. All right. As Mercman now, they pop everything and the kitchen sink to bring him down. And now Thosho might be in a little bit of trouble. But Dopey with the Requiem. Is it going to mean anything? It is not. Liking my chances is away. Senpai, please notice me. Also could be away, though. No, the Magnetize will bring him down. As Jack Attack will also bring down Mercman. Looking for another couple of kills. As Milo Coney comes in and cleans up a remote mine to mean most of it. The only one surviving is, funnily enough, Thosho. Back himself away with a Mechanism and Tranquil Boots, helping keep him alive. 17.4 HP per second regen on the Keeper of the Light. So the Dire continuing to pull ahead. We can take a look in the lead. If I were to take a guess,
Yes.
6,000 advantage? Yeah! Boom! 6,000 net worth advantage, 6,000 experience advantage. Okay, I just looked at the comparisons and added or subtracted shit, but still, I mean, not the greatest advantage considering they are now 10 to 24 in favor of the Dire team. Though I guess a lot of that rides in the fact that the Radiant are still farming. We have the Mask of Madness on the Mercman. We've got Dopey just being a Shadow Fiend. He's actually farming the Dire's jungle. So as far as this game goes, I mean, this just is a good amount of farming. But, oh, crud. Dopey could be in a lot of trouble here. Senpai, please notice me. Notices Dopey instead. Now out with a Shuriken toss. So remember, it is a track. So there is no getting away from this one. In fact, liking my chances, looking for the Blink Dagger into the Fissure. They still can't chase as far as they need to, though. The Shuriken will end him. 560 gold, though Senpai now underneath the tier 1 tower is pretty much as good as dead. But now they're looking to turn this one around. Liking my chances comes on in. They actually lock Lars' arm, or Lars' arm locks my little Coney underneath the tier 1 tower, but it looks like he might end up dropping. Coney trying to get away the Illuminate will miss. Now the blink forward as Milkman drops the Chronos here on the Liking my chances. He's too goddamn tanky, or is he? No, he'll get brought down. Milkman now chasing on to Jack Attack, but the Sonic Wave will fly through. Milkman could drop here. Takes a little bit of dodges out, but he will end up going down. And Jack Attack might have had a heart attack after that one, but in the end, he'll get the kill. And might even find more. And Thosho has been the lone survivor all this time, but will it be enough? As now Jack Attack will finish off the wipe at least. And the Dire once again taking a large advantage off of a fight. You can take a look at the graphs just after that one. And yeah, we were at about 6K. Now we're down to about 10,000. Or getting close to it. I mean, and net worth, we're still at about 8,500, but getting close. Experience, okay, about 9,000 and getting close, but we're approaching that 10,000 advantage mark, which is kind of like the sweet spot that you want to hit in any game to really say that you've got a massive advantage. But another thing to note here for the Dire team, even though they've got all this advantage, they still have not brought down a tier 1 tower. And that goes back, I guess, to my earlier point, which was why do the Radiant still hold on to, or why do the Dire still have such a shallow advantage given the kill score? And that's because objectives haven't fallen for them. So we're looking at these 3 towers. It's easily, what, about 6,000 gold between those 3 towers? If they can just buckle down and push them down, we're looking at approaching a 20,000 net worth advantage. And that's not just a sweet spot. That's almost, I won't say a guaranteed win, because everything's throwable, as techies will find another kill, but everything's throwable. But that is the point where you can look at this and say, okay, the 20,000 gold advantage that we've got, That's like 4 major items ahead of them. That's, say your carry has a butterfly and their carry doesn't. Your mid laner has an Aghanim Scepter and their carry mid laner does not. Your supports have a mechanism, a pipe, their supports do not. That is about a 20,000 advantage. That can mean everything in a fight. Everything as an Echo Slam comes through just to lock down Merkman as well as Larzern, and both will end up dropping because of it. So the Blink Dagger being a massive player in this game, and Merkman going to go for the GG. Though 28 minutes into this game, still have not seen the Tier 2 fall on the Radiant side, so plenty of Dota left to be played, but morale is a major component in any game. You don't want to be losing that much morale this early on in. So you still got to bank on them making a major mistake and hope that you can recognize it and exploit it. As it looks like we might also see the Tier 2 tower go down. They do have a glyph, so it shouldn't drop, but if it does, I mean, that's even more gold for the Dire team. But it looks like they'll back themselves off. Instead, rotations around the map. Maybe Yamful is overstaying his welcome a little bit. Milo Coney's still in there as well. They've got to be excessively careful about this. Every kill can mean a lot, considering we're almost at a complete 50-50 split in the net worth board, which is pretty much your indicator that you've passed the point, or very close to the point of no return.
Best do something about that bottom tower.
Liking my chances, though. With this Blink Dagger, will continue to scout, as it looks like Dopey finds Jack Attack, but who's finding who? Dopey now might be in a little bit of trouble. He'll start up the Requiem of Souls, but he's waiting now for this one. Goes through. Milo Coney will find him. Needs to pop a Requiem now, or he's not going to do anything. No silence! And he'll get brought down. Another big hit to the economy of the Radiant team. And maybe even more. Loki's in a little bit of trouble. Merkman comes through. Will drop a Chronosphere. But can he bring down anyone? Okay, Liking my chances will go down. Yamful will drop down a landmine, but it ends up dodging it out with his time. Whatever he got here. Faces Void, though. Backtrack is what I was looking for. Yamful will still go down as Jack Attack now looking for a couple of kills, but so far the Dire have lost 2, and the Radiant only losing Dopey. And Faces Void getting both of those kills, mind you. So between the two of them, in that one fight, he got about 1,300 gold. Just that one fight alone. The Faces Void, the hard carry, got about 1,300 gold. You can see where that shows up on the graph. It's just a slight incline so far, but a slight incline is very huge at this point in the game. I mean, any sort of stopping of the bleeding is very big. And, well, one thing we didn't notice, but still happened anyway, both the Tier 1 and the Tier 2 top have fallen on the side of the Radiant. So the Dire now pushing advantages and pushing objectives very effectively, as Dopey going very aggressive here. Milo Coney goes on in to the Warcry, which gives him a nice bit of armor against that Shadow Fiend. And now Jack Attack might be caught out a little bit far ahead, though he is just fine for now. Milo Coney trapped without a way out. Oh no, he did with a TP, but the bash stopping it. Merkman getting caught in the trees regardless, but that's well worth it. An Echo Slam from Liking my chances comes through on the 2. Should be able to find one. No, the mechanism comes out, and now Liking my chances out a little bit too far ahead. Do we have a throw going on right here, right now? I think we very much do. Merkman getting caught in the stasis trap. Jack Attack with the Sonic Wave will bring him down. So a triple kill for the Queen of Pain. Maybe they continue to look for more. She goes on in, wants to find Larzern, won't find her, but gets in with the track gold. So a triple for the Queen of Pain, as well as a couple of odd kills amounting to a full 5 wipe for the Dire team. The Radiant dropping even more advantage off that one, though. It started out looking so good for them, but they pressed maybe a little bit too hard, and when you give it just a little too much juice, it ends up overflowing very quickly. That's exactly what happened. So, as far as this is going, the Dire are still looking all right, but they've got to keep a very, very steady eye on what's happening with this Faces Void, as once again, he's gotten a pretty decent sum of gold in the past couple of fights, though. Still below the lowest in the Dire
Tower's
team,
seen better days.
it's a lot better off being about 600 below than 1 or 2,000 below. As now they'll go ahead on in. Stasis Trap comes down, but Mercman is ready, has the leap, has a Chronosphere. The Sentry Ward will come down as Lars Erd catches 2 in the cogs. They're not able to go on to both of them, but still a very decent maneuver for them. Yamful now in a little bit of trouble. Does he have a Suicide? He does. Level 4 turns around, Suicide and Landmine, and will find a kill for very much nothing, as Yamful will find 500 gold for that kill. That seems like a little much given the situation. But, I mean, okay, the Dire will grab a 20,000 net worth advantage, about nearing 20,000 experience advantage. We can take a look at our level distribution, and I can always mess that up, but the level distribution is almost looking just about as scary as it is with the gold net worth distribution. The one funny thing about this, though, is just how slow Coney is in the board, though. I guess one level puts him up near the top, but this is a Sven, which by and large is not really farming that quickly. I mean, he is the second lowest for his team. And, I mean, given the situation, second lowest is still pretty high. But he could definitely be farming a hell of a lot faster, given, again, I say this over and over again. I feel like a broken record, as, well, like in my chances will bring down Loki's. Jack Attack gets rid of Lars Ern, but I feel like a broken record when I say that stacks are one of the most important things you can have in the game.
In bad shape.
And given maybe 2 or 3 creep camp stacks for this Sven, we put him up so far, but now it looks like he's just going to die. Too dopey. Oh boy. This is what happens when you stand still for an extended period of time against a Shadow Fiend. You just get brought down, and
Radiant's mid tower's
I mean,
getting banged
dopey.
up.
Grabbing that kill looks really good, but the big thing here is the fact that My Little Coney, the should be one position hard carry, is farming the slowest. I mean, even an Earthshaker, who has 67 CS, is farming faster. And that's because he's been part of kills. He's gotten some kills of his own, but this Sven really needs to pick up the pace, as I can see that being a major hole in their draft come 5 or 10 minutes from now, is the fact that the Sven really won't be able to do anything without items.
Set in stone.
Our rolling bullet comes out. They find Jack Attack. They will get the Magnetize, but unfortunately Magnetize doesn't do any silencing or whatnot. Needs to hit this boulder effectively, but he's instead going to go for the roll. Won't hit it though. The hook flies, and Jack Attack, well, I think he dies. It looks like the Wicked Six Spree will go the way of Lars Ern, who is building towards that Blade Mail. I don't even know what he's building. He's got a couple of items now. It looks like he will finish up that Blade Mail in the end. Maybe just a casual perseverance for now. As a new Thosho will start to push out a little bit. Yamful keeping some mines across the map. He's got the Aghanim Scepter, so these remote mines hurt a lot. But the Radiant, even though we still see about 20,000, I would imagine, net worth advantage, coming back to the 15,000, in fact, just about at 15,000 experience advantage, this momentum thing is the biggest part about it. And the fact that Radiant aren't flat out losing, okay, they are still flat out losing team fights, or at least every now and then. But again, Radiant are still finding pickoffs where they need to and getting a good chunk of gold from them. It's only a matter of time before the Radiant can end up finding a kill or two. And I mean, taking a look at itemizations right now, I like Queen of Pain's itemization. She went for all this lockdown between the Orchid. I imagine looking for the Scythe of Vices. Oh, hold on. Echo Slam out from Liking My Chances. Will find a kill. He has a Refresher's Orb too, just in case he wanted to go for that again. Didn't have to. He's waiting for that one big fight where he can catch 3 or 4 in it and double echo that. But for now, that is a good couple of kills. Allows him to secure down the final outer tower on the Radiant side of the map. And maybe they look for more. 30 seconds without a buyback on the clockwork. More than that. onto the Keeper of the Light. And now they'll make their way all the way up to the high ground, though. Liking My Chances goes on forward. There's going to be a Requiem. Liking My Chances taking a lot of damage from that. Mercman is going to catch him out and bring him down. Now a BKB comes out. Does he find the Chronosphere that he needs? Instead finds it on the Yamful, but the damage is still real. Will bring down the Techies. Can he find more here? Sonic Wave comes out. Jack Attack taking a lot of damage, but who really dies here? It looks like the Shadow Fiend will be first, as now soon thereafter Mercman will go down, but it's not without a cost, as 3 do fall in the end for the Dire team. An immediate buyback from Dopey as he continues to chase on. They want Lars Hearn, turns around, goes for the hook, and now Senpai might be in a little bit of trouble here. That was a miss, though. Does he have? Yes, he's got Talisman of Evasion. Another miss. Third miss, though that one was being destroyed by the invisibility. So an unfortunate series of misses. They went for the flare to bring down My Little Coney. And unfortunately, the flare was not quite on point to bring down the kill, though very, very close. The Radiant, they spend a buyback for that one. Meanwhile, take a look at our Void. That was a BKB pop just for a one-man Chronosphere. One to fall because as a direct result of said Chronosphere. So not the absolute ideal, but certainly alright, as My Little Coney again dodging out a rocket flare. I mean, this Sven, I like Armlet on Sven being a strength carry. It's very good. Armlet adds, what is that? 25 strength, which is a nice 25 base damage being affected by your ultimate. You consider 25 strength with 200% damage is an extra 25 plus 50, so 75 damage. It's pretty good. A suicide comes out from from Yamful, as Liking My Chances does end up going down, but Larazard in a lot of trouble. He'll go down as well. Illuminate flies through, but only serves to give away the position of Inu no Thosho. And maybe they look to try to find him, but if they have a stun, it looks like not. Instead, Inu will get himself out of there. Meanwhile, Queen of Pain still working slowly but surely towards that Scythe of Ice. Senpai, please notice me. Went for the Desolator and Sanjin Yasha, Vladimir's build, so a lot of utility for his team as well as right-click damage. That, although I want the Talisman of Evasion to build into something like a Solar Crest, because you can help heroes like Sven or Queen of Pain stay alive in the fights. A Butterfly might end up being what he's doing, just for some straight-up right-click damage, which I can't say I disagree with entirely, but as far as itemizations go, there are good items and there are ideal items, and I feel like the Solar Crest might very well be the ideal item. So in Inu no Thosho, that mechanism has been helping them out quite a bit in some fights. You've seen it, how active it's been for the most part. I mean, sometimes it doesn't do quite enough, but other times it is enough to push them straight on over the edge.
Technical difficulties.
Larzard with the Blade Mail now with 1,000 gold on top of it. He might get caught out here as My Little Coney. Speaking of items, he's about to have his Daedalus, which a major item for the Sven. And by and large, one of the biggest ways for him to deal a ton more damage is to get that item out. So he's searching for a kill, maybe two. As Jack Attack now comes in, finds Loki's. They get the Storm Hammer out, and Loki's takes a little bit of damage from that, but it's not really quite enough here. Now My Little Coney getting cogs in the Battery Assault. Learn Get My Chances goes in for the Echo Slam, but doesn't catch anyone with it. Now Mercman will pop the BKB to get away, turns around with a Chronosphere, but just like that, Jack Attack will go in for the Sonic Wave. Can Mercman find anyone in this Chrono? Looks like he cannot. 41 minutes in, and 2 cores are down with no buyback. Dopey, though, he's looking to try to turn this one around slowly. Wants My Little Coney. Pops out the Requiem, but he gets a little far away, but with one right click, will bring him down. Can they get the Shadow Fiend? Can they lock him down for long enough? It looks like Senpai, please notice me, gets very close. They eventually will bring him down, as Liking My Chances will also drop. Larzer, Jack Attack's looking for that kill, should get it. Now with Inu no Thosho will go out with the Shadow Strike, and the track comes out. This is a very dead Keeper of the Light. And that was a Butterfly from Senpai, please notice me, but in the end, every one of the Dire team are dead. Though the one saving grace for this is the fact that the Dire team have all of their lanes pretty much pushed out. So by the time the creeps get close, your Faceless Void's back up, and you have some chance of defending your waves.
Invisibility.
Yamful's being very careful behind the left. This is a double Void Stone out from him. So Octarine and Bloodstone are much better than two Void Stones.
Coming apart.
I'm not totally sure what his plan is here, but regardless, I mean, must have respect for these players' builds here. They go what they feel they need, and I mean, again, we can talk about good versus best, or good, better, best any day of the week. Superlatives being a major thing when it comes to efficiency in Dota, but for right now, it's accomplishing what he wants it to accomplish, and oh no. What? Okay. Well, I can't say I'm 100% sure at what just happened, but if Techies is leaving the game, this could be a little bit better for the Radiant side than it has been. I mean, we're going to take a look at advantages. I imagine it's come back a little bit, though I could be wrong. Okay, it's bumped, but now it's going back down again. 20,000 net worth still, 15,000 experience still, though keep in mind just a bit south of that, each one of those figures. Actually, we're approaching about 25,000, and we're approaching 20,000 experience. So I guess looking a little bit better than it has been for the Dire, but still a lot slower of an advantage gain than it has been, at least for that major drop that we saw not long ago. And so, liking my chances, getting pushed back. Dire looking for a fight, though, with the mana leak. Liking my chances now completely drained. As, okay, Techies does end up disconnecting from the game. Unfortunate, but
The Dire might
it
want
is
to
what
mine
it
the
is,
top
I
tower.
suppose. And I guess it just goes to show you, if you cannot commit 2 hours to the game of Dota,
Dire's top
it
tower.
may not
You
be
know
the
the
best
drill.
idea to actually commit to that game of Dota.
The Dire might want to mine their top tower.
So, with Jack Attack coming in through the bottom lane, it's actually going to be Dopey looking to try to bring him down, or at least deal some damage here, but he'll back himself off. Meanwhile, Senpaku's noticed me and My Little Coney going after Roche. You notice, Bounty Hunter, you know, this I don't quite get. He spends so much gold investing in your right click,
Roche is
only to
done for.
completely halt that by going Dagon. And yeah, sure, I mean, get the huge burst damage from your Janata, then your Shuriken, and then Dagon him down, but if you're going for one direction, I mean, why not stay without one direction? And that's not to go for the ban, but I mean, examples include maybe you just go straight into an MKB and become a right-click and carry, and that'll help for, I won't say the inevitable butterfly onto a SF, but that'll help just in case they go for the butterfly or the solar crest on any of them. Also, a PKB could work out very well because we all know that Bounty Hunter is a very, very squishy hero. Or you go with Salt Cuirass, which could end up being super beneficial to your team considering you already have a Sven. I mean, all sorts of things, but an Echo Slam comes out, maybe a double, but doesn't have enough mana for it. Sonic Wave comes through, but the Chrono Tree will fly out. Mercman, though, he's in that BKB, so Stormhammer is not really doing too much to him. And just like that, 2 will drop, as Mercman getting an 878 gold from the Queen of Pain alone. Now we'll turn on to My Little Coney. That is a BR, an Aegis of Immortality for the Bounty Hunter. Or sorry, for the Sven, rather, as the Sven will end up going down. My Little Coney, the Requiem of Souls, just being so damn powerful. And just like that, now the Dire are a little bit on the back foot here, as the Radiant getting a wide open run at their middle tier 2 tower. And maybe even more than that. So they'll group up, they'll push S5,
Dire's mid
and they
tower
get
is
that
having
tower without so much
difficulty.
as a
The Dire
drop
were
of
partial
resistance.
to
Maybe
that
even
mid
push
tower.
up for the high ground, though the big thing here is the fact that there are mines all over the place. And remember, those range creeps do not pop the mines, so all of the remote or the land mines will go down and save a couple of them. There are 4 remote mines, and that is it. They will pop and bring down 1, 2. Loki's and Keeper of the Thosho will go down. Meanwhile, Dopey could be in a lot of trouble here. The Shinada and the Dagon. Dopey could be dead, but Senpai, please notice me now getting caught in the cogs, has an invisibility. And now Senpai, he just needs one more right click, but the cogs stopping him. Unfortunately, Lara's arm will go down as collateral, but one hell of a fight turnaround for the Radio Dire side as Techies from the grave will bring down a couple. And they even bring them back out just to continue mining. The smartest thing they can do here is to not let that Aghanim Scepter go. And though it kind of sucks that they can't purchase any new items for this Techies, since, I mean, getting things like Octarines, Bloodstones, all those really good items for him would be highly beneficial. At this point, what he's got right now is okay. Dopey, meanwhile, finishing up an Eye of Scotty, this Shadow Fiend.
Radiant
Going
mid tower
against his
keeps
fiery nature instead, going for the blue balls of Scotland. And I know it's blue bells for those of you music geeks out there, but Dopey now still finding farm. Now the huge thing about this is he was at the top of the board, and then he kind of fell to the 4th, 3rd, kind of hovering around that area. Now he's all the way back up to 2nd highest net worth and climbing very, very quickly. Whereas the Bounty Hunter really is the only one farming incredibly well. And, I mean, with everything he's got, between the Dagons, between the right-click damage, he is hitting pretty hard. And when we take a look, we don't usually picture bounty hunters as right-click heroes. We usually pick them as guerrilla-type warfare. Get in, unload, get out, and do the same thing over again. But he's realizing right now that, again, the Sven is way too far behind to rely on. And a little bit better than where he was, but look at this. Way far back, and then Faceless Void, by and large, is farming faster than him. You can see the Faceless Void is caught up and is looking to surpass him very quickly. So this Sven now sitting 3-7-14 with 120 CS to his name is super far behind. Dopey will go in for the Reputable Souls, but can't quite find anyone with it. Instead, pops his BKB nearly immediately as Milo Coney comes in with the God Strength. Jack Attack comes out with the Sonic Wave, will bring down 1, but it doesn't really look like he can continue fighting for now. As the hook shot in, Dopey still being chased by Milo Coney. Eventually will bring down the Shadow Fiend. As where was the evasion coming from? I actually don't know. Maybe blinding light, perhaps. Whatever the case. So far, it's a 2-0. The Dire still chasing, looking for more here. Echo Slam comes out. Do they have another one to spend? Doesn't even matter. 2 will just drop. As Senpai, please notice me, with a double kill. We'll even find another one on the Faceless Void? Oh, okay. I didn't see a Faceless Void there. Meanwhile, what the hell is that? Never seen that skull before, but I guess you learn something new every day, right? Double buyback comes out from the Radiant as they look to defend their base, and they should be able to do so successfully. Between the two of them, everyone in the Dire are pretty low. So I think as far as base defenses go, they'll be quite happy with that one, though. One overstep, and they both could drop very easily, though. A Fisher will come through. They've got a Refresher's Orb into another Echo Slim if they want to spend it, though. It may have very well been worth it there. Instead, they're going to hold off and sit back for now. As you can see, they're waiting for the creep wave to come on in. Full vision out on a Dopey on the high ground as the track comes through. The Boulder Smash will now hit the Jack Attack, but it looks like neither side pushing this one a little harder than they should. As Dopey now, as soon as they back themselves out, Dopey's on the chase with the Shadow Blade out. He's moving at a cool 482 movement speed. Though even with that, he's not quite able to catch up to really anyone. Will reveal out of that Shadow Blade with another double damage in the bottom rune spot, mind you. These double damages are popping up like candy.
Dire's bottom tower's getting the business.
And Lars armed now with Loki's. They will go, and they'll find Senpai Please Notice, and the dust will connect, and this could be a very huge kill. Requiem comes out right on top of him. 1671 gold from the Bounty Hunter alone. Dear God, all going to Lars Earn on the Clockwork, though a lot will go the other ways too. I mean, if you imagine maybe about 900 was normal gold, or even less than that. We got a good chunk, 700 to about 1,000 of bonus gold that everyone shared it.
The Dire gave up a bottom
Now
tower.
tier 2 bottom will go down. The Radiant once again being on the offensive, but all the mines are still standing. They do have a couple of remote mines, only one remote mine on the high ground. Dopey will make his way on up. They find Milo Coney, turn for Jack attack. Loki so up on the high ground. Lars Ern trying to fight. The Sonic Wave will come through and will catch Loki's in the back line, but in comes Like a My Chance with a double Echo Slam immediately, but the Chronosphere will lock him down. It is a Hex out on a Merkman as the buyback comes out from My Little Coney. Jack attack being stunned by the Mana Leak. And everyone just kind of getting back. Senpai Please Notice Me, though, will continue chasing. Remember, still has that Dagon at the ready and a Shuriken toss. And so he'll bring down the Faceless Void. Meanwhile, Dopey has pushed out the bottom lane. This is why Bounty Hunter is scary. An inbuilt crit, like a Phantom Assassin, except not as, about half as effective. In fact, pretty much half as effective. Phantom Assassin's like, what, 450? Critical 225 is literally half of that, but I mean, he's hitting for a good chunk of damage. We're talking about 340 damage on this Bounty Hunter. With 225% crit, that's a lot of cheese.
Toughened up their structures.
So looking at it right now, the Dire will once again push. They have the Bounty Hunter who has built into a sort of quasi-fast pusher between the Desolator and the Butterfly. Hits fast, hits hard, and takes away armor, which is really great when you're trying to bring down towers. But the main issue is he's got to try to do it into the Radiant team, which is very scary. Giving up deaths is pretty big considering the last one he gave up was 1,600 gold. You can see just from that one alone, it skyrocketed pretty heavy towards the Radiant team, though it's making his way, or at least I guess slowing down a bit again. I can't tell completely, but the Radiant haven't been knocked out of this one just yet. We're 55 minutes in, and it's still anyone's game. So, with Dopey running face first in a Jack attack, who is invisible, maybe looks to try to turn this one and get a kill off it. He's going to go in with a Sonic Wave. There is a track kill on him, and Dopey will be brought down. 769 gold between everything. Queen of Pain will now go for the MKB, as he does have the Scythe device at the ready. And these two are just so damn powerful. As, an Echo Slam. Does he have a second? It doesn't look like he can pop it out. I don't even know if he had it, but Merkman will go down just after dropping that Chronosphere. Now Jack attack might be in a little bit of trouble, but who's really in trouble here? It looks like no one. Though Senpai Please Notice Me is still chasing out. We'll find Inuno Thosho, and you can see just one attack being so much damage. Isn't able to bring him down in the end, but gets very close to doing so. And Dire with technically 4 alive, though in actuality it's more like 3. They're also getting a decent chunk of bonus gold off this game. So the Techie's not holding on to any gold. His net worth is all coming from his items. He's got 10,000 gold in items, which, okay, that's understandable, but
Radiant's mid
just from items alone, Yamful has a higher net worth than Loki's, but looks like another kill. Jack attack will bring down Lars Ern, and the first set of racks for the day will go down to the Dire team. Buyback from Merkman, buyback from Lars Ern, and they turn maybe to fight, but what do they have to fight with here? I guess literally 4 heroes. So hook into My Little Coney, but as far as effective heroes go, I wouldn't say Sven's too high on the priority list here. So him going down, though, 100 seconds on the board for him, I don't imagine that's too painful. As we can take a look at the buyback board now, as it's becoming more and more relevant as time goes on. Sven will have 3 minutes before he can buy back, so he'll be back alive before buyback comes off cooldown, I guess, is the big thing to take away from that. Meanwhile, a whole hell of a lot of rage. If you had a Drow Ranger in this game, you would imagine that that tower would be almost dead by now. I mean, you consider adding 60 damage to each creep, and you've got, what, 10 rage creeps there? 600 damage per volley. That tower has only got 1,600, and there were a good 2 or 3 volleys that came out. So we're looking at another 1,200 damage. Give some resistance what we got for armor mitigation. Okay, well, don't tell me. I would imagine it's close to half. That's an extra 600 damage. That tower would be about 300. Maybe even dead if it was a third volley, so that's a lot of damage coming out. So, I mean, of course, we don't have a Drow Ranger in this game, and therefore that whole statement really isn't all that valid. But for the sake of argument, it strikes me as something that's kind of funny. Like those are the kind of times that you just wish you had a hero, even if it wasn't exactly viable in your team. And the Echo Slam, the Sonic Wave will come out onto 3, but the Chronosphere catches 3 just as well. Merkman trying to fight, but he is low as all can be. The second Echo dealing a whole lot of damage, as 3 will fall on the Dire side.
2 down.
4 now. 1,000 gold for the Queen of Pain. 1,000 gold for the Bounty Hunter. 400 gold for the Earthshaker, or Earthspear. Okay, fine, the Earthspear was on the wrong team. But 500 gold for the Earthshaker, 600 rather. And for the Sven, I don't know, but right after that fight, the Shadow Fiend just got 2k. He's sitting at 4,500, and what I would imagine would be the start of, what is this, a MKB? Okay. Okay, that jeez. This is what happens when you push without detection. All the time. You constantly tell your buddies, you constantly tell your teammates, buy detection, it's a tech keys. All you need is a gem. Who was Shadow Fiend pushing with? Clockwork? Drop your bottle, buy a gem. All you need is a gem. And when you don't have a gem and your one position hero with all the gold on your team goes down, and you give a techie 777 gold even though he's got the 10k or the 20k advantage, that becomes a problem. Net worth, though, is about 5,000, coming down to the equilibrium point, though. We can attribute that a lot to being because everyone's getting close to max level, so you don't really count the damn experience. Actually, I don't know how that works, to be perfectly honest. All this time, I haven't been sure, because I know as far as XBM is counted, it does not count if you're past level 25. We can take a look at the XBM Grav. I don't think I have a bind for it. Yeah, I do not have a bind for it, because it's not really important to look at, but I mean, you max out. Once you hit level 25, you can't get any higher than that. And for some people, for some reason, there's more... What the hell? What just happened? Oh, that's cool. It looks like one of the bombs is a fuse. I don't know. But once you reach level 25, the game doesn't count your XP anymore. Which kind of strikes me as odd, because you still have heroes gaining experience, although it's not really adding to their level. That's why I kind of wish that there was an interaction where, you know, you hit level 25, and then it shows a non-limited amount of XP that you get from that point on. And even though it's not really that helpful to the player itself, to the caster, it's really cool. But either way, we got a hook on into Senpai, please notice me. Him going down is huge. Remember, the last kill he gave away, the first kill he gave away was 1,600 gold. The last kill was 1,000. So in the middle of 3 kills, it's been 3,200 gold that he's been giving up. Now the score is 37-71 at 61 minutes. We have long passed the, we've long passed the 100 kill mark. But Still, I find this is anyone's game, and oh god, okay. This time, the Radiant buy Sentry Wards, and this time, this game becomes very easy for the Radiant to just win right here, right now. There's going to be a stasis trap on the high ground. They'll go after the tower, though, in the end. It takes a whole lot of damage. If they can counter Axis here, this would be huge. The Here comes out. They go in with a double Echo Slam, and everyone taking so much damage. Mercman, he doesn't even have enough time to pop out a Chronosphere. A Requiem of Souls just for some slow, just for some damage. No, it's because he died. Queen of Pain, Jack Attack will get 2. Sven also getting 2. The 5th will go to Liken My Chances. And that is what a double Aghanim Scepter Echo Slam does. And we can take a look at the hero damage from that last fight, just because I'm curious. Attacker, Earth Shaker. Damage, refresh. Let's go interval of 50 seconds. Look at all that Echo Slam damage. Okay, so he hits everyone for an initial 300 damage. And then hits with another 100, so 400 damage right off the bat. And then a whole nother round for another 150, another 200 damage. So 600 damage, 700 damage, 800 damage. And then a whole nother Echo Slam. So I guess if you were to mirror it over, though technically it's not quite that because a lot of units died in the first time around, you're looking at 1,000 to 1,600 magical damage from that double Echo Slam, that double Chaos Dunk coming out. And that's not counting the Aftershocks and the Fissures and all that stuff. So when you're looking at, okay, $6 million Echo Slams, that's the kind of damage you're looking at. So, I mean, it's just crazy. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. And he'll have it up again in 150 seconds, but it doesn't even matter. 40 seconds down for the Faces Void without buyback. The Dire now look to control. Maybe they look to just end this one right now. Requiem of Souls comes out from Dopey. But what does it accomplish? I think the Dire, I think they'd be better off going after Megas right now. Honestly, I have faith that they can win another team fight. Oh, no, they're going to get the Hex off onto Dopey. Liking My Chances, he can't stun, though. He's out of mana. But in comes Senpai, please notice me. Remember, his damage is a whole hell of a lot, so they won't continue chasing. Instead, they'll go after towers. The Glypho gets spent 10 seconds from Mercman, and they accomplish absolutely nothing from this push. Given so many opportunities, they can't seal the deal, which is a major problem for them. They go back in with My Little Coney, but he's mana leaked. He can't get away from this. So in comes Senpai, please notice me. He'll bring down Inil Tosho, but just like that, Mercman, he finds a Chrono, but can he actually bring him down? It's a Butterfly, but he has enough damage. Shadow Fiend, My Little Coney will find 2. And a buyback from, Dopey will find 2. My Little Coney ends up buying back after that last one. Oh my lord. What do we got now? 4 buybacks left. 2 on the Radiant, 2 on the Dire. They belong to 2 Chorus, 2 supports. The Earths both have buybacks. The Faces Void and the Queen of Pain both have buybacks. Queen of Pain, pretty much 6-slotted. Can go for a casual Refreshers Orb. Could go for Boots of Travel 1 and 2. Could go for Moonlight Shard, a Moon Shard. Plenty of opportunities for her to go 7, 8, maybe even 9 slotted. Could buy some Necronomicons as well. Shadow Fiend as well could be opting for that Moon Shard, but with that Reaver, I imagine Satanic will be coming out for him. Faces Void, what are we looking at for this guy? Actually, a very low amount of items. You can take a look at his overall net worth and see, yeah, he's only worth about 1,500, 15,000 gold, which is about 3 major items. And you look, 1, 2, 3. Okay, the amount of gold he's got hints at a third. So, yeah, 3 major items out for the Faces Void. I mean, he's effective without. This is why hard carries are hard carries, right? Because they can be effective without being 6-slotted compared to other heroes which can only be effective when they're 6-slotted. So keep in mind, Dopey is pretty much maxed out. Very close to being maxed out. Phase's Void has a lot of room to grow. And that's where the scary factor lies when you look at these kind of carries, when you look at hard carries who are still fighting without items. You have to look at a game by how much stronger can my enemy get from this point forward. And if it's, well, they're only half as strong now as they ever will be, then you have some serious stuff to think about as far as controlling them as time goes on. Whereas if they're peaked, if they're at max, if they can't do anything more than go for some auxiliary 7 slots or whatnot, then maybe you shift your focus over, or you keep what you've got going on. Your formula right now is working. You start to adapt to anyone else that can get stronger. It's a really great way of kind of delegating your focus in fights, is knowing, well, this is how they were in the last fight, this is how they're going to be in the next fight, and adjust accordingly. As Dopey, I think oh man, the Requiem! So, that's a quick death for the Bounty Hunter. Jack Attack goes in for the kill, tries to find it, Dopey dropping very low, but Jack Attack can't walk through the creeps. He was so scared, rightfully so. As, okay, Lara's Arm will find Lake in my chances elsewhere, but Requiem of Souls, that's a hell of a drug. Still the techies, literally his only job. In fact, you could probably set the techies up with a script that will time everything correctly, so it knows how long it takes for the mines to cool down and walks them back and forth like between base. You can, drop mine, drop remote, shift click back to base, shift click back, drop mine, drop remote, shift click back to base, shift click here, drop mine, drop. And do that. Spend like 5 minutes doing that over 100 to 100 or so times. And you never run out of mines. And then when it stops, spend another 5 minutes. Do that whole shift queuing. Or set up a script. I don't know. I'm not keeping. Yeah, I think the Radiant are desperate for strats to try to end this game, baiting the Dire to go after this one. I don't know. Either way, what we're looking at right now is called a stalemate. Both teams being really aggressive, neither team able to push. And we've seen quite a few pushes, but neither side was able to seal the deal. No matter how strong their pushes got, they either got stopped at the tier 4 towers, buybacks were keeping them at bay, or, they just didn't prioritize their targets correctly. And the heat of the moment is sometimes it's really hard to think about, well, I can get away with this, especially considering we've got a spectator point of view. So when we see, oh, well, he's got 20 seconds down, no buyback, their bottom racks are exposed, they could probably go after them. What the Radiant, or what the other team sees is, oh, there's 20 seconds down, but we don't know if he's got buyback. If we commit onto the bottom racks, then we could very well get initiated on, get wiped, and then all of a sudden we're back to square one. So, at this point in the game, too, it is very hard to keep track of whether or not they have buyback. I mean, sometimes you can judge by, oh, well, they just bought an item, they must have buyback, or, oh, they have such and such gold in their inventory, I have such and such gold in my inventory, I think I'm about as farmed as him, and I have buyback, so he must have buyback. That kind of thing is not really a spur-of-the-moment thing. You kind of have to take a little bit of time to think about it. In Dota, hesitation is the worst thing to have happen. So, really, I mean, buybacks at this point in the game, unless you're absolutely 100% sure, like they just spent a buyback or whatnot, knowing whether or not they have buyback is the greatest mystery in Dota. And I envy the player. I really envy the player that can keep track of the net worth of all the heroes in the map by watching their farming patterns, knowing how much gold they'll have at any specific point in time, and then be able to accurately judge what their net worth is and whether or not they have buyback at a given point in time. That would be a skill that would pretty much win 50 to 60% of games of Dota that haven't been won. And I'm not bullshitting with that number. There are a lot of games that I can count off the top of my head Okay, not off the top of my head, but I bet you could go through a lot of games and have buybacks being a main contributor as to why a team doesn't push or as to why a team does think they can push and ends up getting routed at the base. Yeah, it's no laughing matter. So, as we wait around for this, maybe, Jack Attack will go aggressive onto Inunotosho. We'll find him. Shadow Strike will come out. It's a dagger and a pig, and they should be able to bring him down relatively quickly. And Echo Slam comes out, second one, as they're just locked down. They have nothing to do. They're down. 80 seconds with no buyback. Oh, man, talk about the worst possible thing to happen at that given point in time. As now the Dire, they're free. Do they again go to end this game? It looks like they do. Chronosphere will lock them, though the tier 3 tower is caught, so it can't do any damage. One will already drop. Merkman trying to go for a second. Senpai, please notice me. Dropping very low the bashes, but the Fisher comes out, and now Merkman could be in a little bit of trouble. Do they have anything to bring him down? They do have a Sonic Wave. Still not having been spent. She could turn and throw it if she wanted to, but is worried about the backlash. Or, I guess, the backtrack into the backlash. So Dire, once again, going for the tier 4s and paying for it dearly. Though at that point, I don't think it was just the tier 4s. I think it was grouping up for the Chronosphere that really ended them there. But as far as that goes, we're left with another push that didn't end up being a push. And another just kind of reassurance of the stalemate at hand. I mean, now all the buybacks are starting to come back online. Or at least the ones that matter. In fact, none of these heroes that don't have buyback, I guess, matter. Maybe Clockwork. Okay, well, I take that back. At 72 minutes, 73 minutes, everyone matters, but I don't know. What are we looking at as far as farm goes? The Keeper of the Light did pick up the Aghanim Scepter, but itemization, the Aghanim Scepter, okay, it gives you a lot, but I don't know. I kind of like Hex's Solar Crest a hell of a lot more. Things that benefit your team. But wait. What's the idea of this replay? Because I could be way off on this Solar Crest. Oh! Well, duh! There's no such thing as a Solar Crest in this game. There's no such thing as a Glimmer Cape. And here I've been talking about the best possible item for a situation. And been missing the most obvious thing about it. Because Guardian Greaves would have been another good one for Keeper of the Light to have, and no Guardian Greaves. No Lotus Orbs. No Silver Edges. No things that could make this game a hell of a lot easier for either team. So I don't know. Dopey, dropping the Sanj and Yasha. I like this for the Aegis Immortality. Not too bad for the Shadow Fiend here. Merkman will go and join him. He's still got Mask of Madness. At this point, I mean, Mask of Madness is great for your attack speed, but at this point, someone on your team needs an Assault Cuirass. Moonshard. You can't do Moonshard. Moonshard would be so good for him right now, because you get rid of your Mask of Madness, you buy a Satanic, you get a Moonshard, someone on your team gets an Assault Cuirass, and all of a sudden, I mean, you're super effective in the Chronosphere. Here, it's kind of iffy, so we'll have to see. Either way, the Radiant now have poised themselves up for a push of their own once again. Who's got sentries? Who's got gem? Who's got anything? Nothing. Huh, this could be a bit of an issue. They really need detection of some sort. So they just got rid of a ward, though. I don't know what they do about this. They walk up to the high ground. I mean, I don't even want to... Okay. Yeah. So, that just happened. And now Dopey on the run. He'll pop the Requiem of Souls. The Mana Leak is out, but, I mean, the track is out. He's got a BKB on him, though. And all the mines got popped, or at least all but two. So, they probably could try to fight this. Or at least push up on the high ground again. They're missing their Earth Spirit, but then again, what is the Earth Spirit really contributing to fights except for a and Sight Device. Like, I don't know. But while this is happening, Techies will get another 2
Dyer's
mines
mid
down.
tower could use a little
750 per mine, right? So 721. Oh, Echo Slam. Doesn't really catch on to anyone. The Sonic Wave comes out. Lars' arm comes out. Milkman's, though, is going to go ahead and grab 2 and the Chronos here. Jack Attack will find Dopey on the back lines, but Milkman gets 1. Should get the 2nd here unless the mines blow him up. It looks like they very well could as he's underneath them, and he does go down, but he'll have buyback. Dopey has buyback. And now the Dire team will be on the aggressive. It's kind of back and forth, you know, to and fro. Looking for either team to majorly throw, but I mean, grabs don't matter at this point. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. This actually makes sense because we're approaching equilibrium because both teams have level 25 on everyone. I mean, yeah, we've just got 4 heroes that don't have level 25. So it would make sense that actually the Dire have a slight advantage because everyone's level 25. And Radiant are slowly catching up, but again, it doesn't matter. Only thing that matters are the buybacks in this game, and we've got 4 of them. One of them belonging to the Radiant team, but might just have to be spent right here. And it will. So Dire or the Radiant without any buybacks. Dopey will pop into BKB. A hook flies out and misses. Where do we stand? 20 seconds for a double Echo Slam. I think that's what the Dire are waiting for. They know they can continue pressuring this one. They don't have to back off, though. That part they might not know. And they're backing off. Okay. I mean,
Double damage.
smart? Maybe. Efficient? Probably, because they'll be able to push out lanes. But game winning? No. Nowhere close. So they'll head back, push out some lanes, get some farm, do a little dance, make a little, show a little love, get down tonight. As we're approaching the 80-minute mark in this game. And every time I see a game go to 80 minutes, I think to myself, why? And a lot can be said about why a game goes 80 minutes. I mean, and it's nothing to detract from the players in the game. I talk about it constantly. Again, I like analyze things. I talk about what could be done better, maybe done worse, what is going wrong, and what not. But you have to remember that I can say this because I've got a spectator point of view. When you're in this game, a lot of the things that happen that a spectator might pick out and go, oh, well, that was stupid. The player doesn't realize it's going on. It's nothing to take back. It's why pro players watch replays. And it's why, if you want to improve, you watch a replay. In fact, I've got a great story. I mean, I used to play this little game called Dawn of War, right? Dawn of War 2. And a hilariously fun game. Not because it's hilarious, but just hilarious how fun it is. Anyway, I would play with a couple of groups of people and, you know, play 1v1s, 2v2s, climb. What the fuck? My life's a lie! Oh my god. All this time, your Solar Crest, your Glimmer Capes, your Moon Shards could be coming out, and they haven't been. So I guess I missed that cutoff by a couple 100,000, 100 million replays. I don't know. At this point, I should just mark down what lobby ID was when the update came out, and that'll be the sweet spot. But anyway, I was talking about a story about me playing Dawn of War, and the big thing was, like, I was trash at this game. I had a lot of fun, but I was trash. I would constantly be scared of playing 1v1s. I would not go to do private lobbies because I was scared of my skill. I would only play 2v2s and 3v3s, and even then, I would try to avoid ranked as much as possible. And then I started watching my replays. Then I started figuring out, well, this I can do better, this I can do worse. Like, one thing, you had a unit who could drop a high damage AoE grenade, you all know what a grenade is, on a retreating enemy unit. Basically, you force them to retreat back to base. They took increased some amounts of damage, but decreased other amounts of damage. The grenade would be a damage type that was unaffected, or even increased in some cases. So what would happen is I wasn't throwing my grenades at their retreat paths, in which case they were keeping 1 or 2 units alive that they may have lost, which would have been a huge attrition hit to them. So I figured that out, started doing that, and became eons better. Of course, among a lot of other things as far as unit control, where to place units, how to move units together, stuff like that. Started playing ranked again, started being a lot more confident in my play, climbed the ladders. I faced a pro at one point. Like, yes, there was a competitive scene, although it was kind of like the fledgling thing that you start with any video game, but I faced a pro at one point, someone who was known for being really good. And that was a huge, huge confidence boost. Now, I kind of wish that translated into Dota. Here in Dota, I'm trash for 4.5k, but, I mean, the point still stands. And I'm a fall victim of this, too. I don't watch my replays in this game, even though I really should. But you should always watch your replays, because this gets back to my earlier point. We're seeing things that they don't. And this gets back to my original point as to why this game's going on very long. And the main reason is because of lack of taking objectives. Stalling. Being inefficient with your time, inefficient with your items. And oh, Dopey, the Echo Slam comes out, will grab two, but the Chronos here, can Milkman turn this one around? It looks like with the BKB, he may just be able to. My Luconi getting stunned up as well by the hook, but Merkman falls. And just like that, 3 are dead without buyback on the Radiant side. Make that 4. Though Coddle does have a buyback, it won't matter. Lars Erm does not for 300 gold, and this will only make it worse. And all you need to push is a Queen of Pain and a Bounty Hunter, and that's all they're going to do. They're going to barrel down that mid lane. Oh boy, this could be it. Coddle will buy back, but no one else can. Actually, well, 28 seconds before Shadow Fiend can buy back, so I guess he will be able to in about 30 seconds, but that's give or take 30 seconds without buyback. Now 15. Jack attack will immediately go up. Active protection is down, so he goes out and will immediately bring down a tier 4 tower. They want the other one. Senpai, please notice me. He's attacking as fast as they can, but the glyph is down. Shadow Fiend, buyback. 3, 2, 1. Spent. Maybe. Does he even know? Yes, he'll buy back immediately. The tier 4 still not fallen. But he buys back. Earthshaker will also buy back. Sven will also buy back. Oh boy, it's a powwow of buybacks. As Earthshaker now will buy Boots of Travel, but the Dire, they're done. They're gonzo. They're out of here. They want no more to do with this. Almost kind of want one of these guys to buy a Divine Rapier at this point. I mean, sell your Orchid. Go Divine Rapier. Please. Please. So 83, 84 minutes into this game. Still have not seen a major push. Like a couple towers going down each time. Big whoop. Right? So, still anyone's game. Although I'm now favoring Dire, or I have been favoring Dire just a little bit over the past couple of minutes, just because Radiant just haven't been able to push. You've seen every single time they've tried Echo Slam, 1600 to 1800 to 2000 magical damage, and everyone just dies. Meanwhile, faces Void has been struggling to find his next item, 12 and 18. And not really gaining a foothold. He still has a whole nother couple of spots to go for as far as the item goes. Moon Shard, and then getting rid of the Mask of Madness to buy another item. Probably a Satanic. Butterfly an option for him. Like, all sorts of things become an option for him. Radiant, though, they might grab an Aegis. That could help a little bit. They got the last one. They will get this one. This time it's a Demon Edge that Dopey is putting on his Spirit. As I imagine he's going for the Daedalus on the Shadow Fiend. Definitely needs it. Jesus Christ. They will finally bring down the Roshan. Aegis and Cheese. And Loki's not going to put it down. It can probably drop his up. Oh, no. Oh, no. Merkman, rather. Of course, it was a 5-second BKB, so it doesn't lose any time on it, but it's now on cooldown for about 40 seconds. Ooh, boy. Ooh, Nilly. Okay, so, you heard my replay story. So where do we go from here?
And it's up.
I mean, we're now sitting an hour and 15 or hour and 25 minutes into a game that by all means probably could have been over half an hour to 40 minutes ago. In fact, I believe at one point, in fact, the Dire probably still have a 25,000. Yeah, the Dire have had greater than a 20,000 advantage for nearly 40, for way more than 40 minutes. I mean, 30, probably close to a quarter of an hour. They've had a 20,000 goal advantage. They haven't been able to end this game. And it's crazy, right? Crazy. But, I mean, not having a technique kind of hurts, but whatever. So, the Dire are going to hold on to their base. I don't see the Radiant really pushing into this one anytime soon. Or at least finding a successful push. Every single time, again, it has been those Echo Slams, have been the really troublesome turnarounds. And the Radiant, they might try to go for a more split pushy style here, but every lane is mine, although the bottom lane, I guess, less so. But you gotta constantly be afraid, and okay, so Lars are gonna walk under 4 remote mines, though they won't pop now. They don't do quite enough. Okay, now they do enough damage.
Dire's mid tower won't last much longer.
And it looks like he'll get himself away. Nope, he will not. He is dead as a doorknob. Meanwhile, mid lane, Dopey popped the BKB, so the remote mines do absolutely nothing. Mercman goes down. My Little Coney's just gonna go down. Maybe the Radiant, maybe they can finally win this one. Sonic Wave comes through. Echo Slam. 1, 2. Ramp. What the fuck? Liking my chances easily. The MVP this game will rampage the Radiant side. Okay, and there's the Divine Rapier, but dear Lord, I don't think I've ever used that many or that severe of expletive in any time, but oh, I just don't know what to say. Once again, I mean, I kind of want to zoom back and like make a little clip of that, make a little highlight of that. That is one hell of a play right there. Jesus, so he got the kill on this clockwork and then immediately came back, double echoed in the middle of 4 people, and okay, I gotta look at this again because I know you. Bear with me here, all right? We're just going to look at damage. We're going to look at an interval of 60 seconds. $253 plus 120, 370. Another 120, 490. Another 117, 600 damage, right? Times 2. Okay, so about 1,200 magical damage. I guess not as much, but he also hit for the fissures, the aftershocks, all sorts of damage. Like, I just don't know. That was a hell of a fight for the Dire. And a hell of a turnaround, though. Bring down the tier 4s, and Jack Attack, remember, he's got a Rapier. If he goes down, this is actually big, and he will. So Divine Rapier hits the deck, and Mercman will bring down Lake of My... Okay. Okay. Senpai, please notice me. Will also drop. Maybe do they have any vision for him? Looks like he'll go down. They have full idea of where he is. They bring him down. I don't think they know a Divine Rapier is there. I actually think they have no... Okay, the Courier will go out. Courier can pick up Divine Rapier. I don't know what they're trying to do. Stop trying. It can't do it. So I guess SF, when he comes back, will try to get the Rapier and Boots to travel in. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. Fortunately for the Dire, they have buybacks where it counts, but I mean, the Earthshaker, again, is one of the more important heroes for some of these pushes, and the fact that he's gone is a major issue. But that 12,000 gold swing right there. And it doesn't really show because they haven't picked it up yet, but okay. In comes Dopey, just as Loki's just straight up dies, which I guess makes sense. But Dopey's got the Rapier. The walk over a single mine, that's about it. Milkman comes forward almost immediately. Dopey, he's gonna sit above the remote mines, but they're not enough damage. 2,100 magical damage, rather. And the Rax will just drop. The Radiant, they're still holding back quite a bit. A double echo up in 40 seconds. And the Radiant, they're playing around with this one. Now buyback from the Earthshaker. He's got one outkill slam, but only one. And Larzer sitting really far forward. The Radiant will back themselves off. We're now 90 minutes into this game. And again, still anyone's game. Though I don't think I favor the Dire that much more anymore, just because of the Rapier that's been introduced.
Time is money.
Now it's a lot more even. Whoever wins a team fight wins the game, because the Rapier is the big thing, the head honcho, the #1 item here. In fact, I want to take a look at the net worth after the Rapier got picked up, and yeah, there is the 12,000 swing immediately. So, yeah, that's what buying a Rapier and feeding it does. And he could probably just straight up buy another Rapier soon. In fact, yes, he can. He won't have buyback if he does, but he can do that. Instead, he's now sitting on 7,000 gold. I really hope he didn't sell his previous item for that, but I guess he did. What did he even sell for that? I don't totally remember what he had before that, but regardless, I don't know. This game is leaving me very speechless right now. I imagine it's going to continue to do that. As like we're knee deep in this one, still without a verdict, still without much of anything to say for it. So it looks like with mid-racks gone on both sides of the map, no longer do the Dire have an easy map advantage. Instead, it's quite equalized. They had 2 points to try to go for the Mega Creeps, and they didn't take either one of them. Instead, all the time going for the Aegis, or the Ancient. And although it's a pretty decent objective to get, it's pretty much the objective to get, it's still not the most ideal, I guess. So, I don't know. 92 minutes in, score 49-95. We're starting to get close to not even being a kill per minute, although, okay, we'd have to get quite a bit into this game to hit that point, but fights are becoming a little bit more spread out, but more devastating each and every time. I mean, you've seen each team get closer and closer with every winning fight to bringing down more than just one bit of a building or doing more than just a little bit of collateral damage. And everyone's starting to get getting farmed. I mean, still we haven't seen that point where everyone gets 6-slotted. And, you know, if this game was 100% efficient with the players, everyone would be 6-slotted by now. I mean, it almost goes without saying that it gets to a point where when one person gets 6-slotted, okay, it was an Aghanim Scepter. She sold her axe for that. So she ends up buying a whole new one. But note to anyone buying a Rapier, try to avoid selling the item that you bought the Rapier for. I know if you sell the item, you get the Rapier faster, but you have to constantly think, well, what if I give up this Rapier? Well, now I'm down an entire item slot. Which, in her case, is an Aghanim Scepter, is a 40-second cooldown for 575 damage pure ult. Which, by and large, is more damage than a Rapier will ever give you, and quick fights like these. So, I don't know. I just don't know. An Assault Cuirass will come out for the Faceless Void, and I imagine after that, a Moon Shard, and he no longer needs a Mask of Madness. But he'll be hitting for quite a bit of attack speed. If he gets plus 100 attack speed, his attack speed already is 381. So he'll have 3 attacks per second, easily. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of attacks. So, now, the Radiant are slow sieging this one. They really want to end this game. I can understand, I can feel it in my bones that both teams, they just want this game to end. But sometimes you never want to give up. Even though you really want a game to end and you'll give anything for it to end, anything does not include losing. So these teams will fight to the bitter end and will continue to give it their A game here. But I can almost imagine they must be getting a little bit tired. Their minds must be getting a little bit weary. Dota is a very mentally challenging game. And you can tell, even when pros play Dota, like, if they go for too long, like, if they get those 2-hour games, they're shut down by the end of it.
Dire's bottom tower's getting the
So,
business.
the split push coming out
No
from the
breaking
Radiant,
through the Dire
but
structures for now.
there's nothing they can do to this. There's nothing they can do to this. I'm kind of surprised that the techies aren't putting down the minefield signs, though, just to keep the mine stacks hidden. But, again, the Radiant really haven't been putting down detection anyway, so I guess it doesn't totally matter. But liking my chances, chase Loki's. Instead, looks like no kill will amount from that. The Radiant, a very unsuccessful slow
The
siege
Dire
so
best
far.
do something about that bottom tower.
Maybe they can find
Dire just
a
couldn't
kill
save
either
that
way
bottom
here.
tower.
As the bottom tower does go down. Loki's been taking it down alone without bringing down the, or getting taken down by the mines. It's a very interesting maneuver by him, but, I mean, I guess the rationale is to save the mines for a major push instead of getting rid of them for one target. But then the explanation is, okay, well, he's got, what, 2,400 HP
Dire's bottom rags
with
ain't in a
50% or
happy place.
25% magical damage resistance. So 4 mines will bring him down. 4 or 5 remote mines will bring him down. Easily. So only pop 4 or 5 of them.
Perfect location.
97 minutes. I feel like I could have started this game and done like a whole SpongeBob montage from like 97 minutes later. And then we're
Dire's top
still playing the
tower,
game.
You know the drill.
Anyway, Jack attack now. They want to find Dopey. He's doing a lot of damage. Remember, this is a rapier. They'll bring down the Queen of Pain. Now a Chronosphere will catch 2, and they're just not long for this world. All 3 of them will have a buyback. Meanwhile, the Radiant, while bringing them all down, can now start to push this one out. The 2 others will buy back in as the mines go pop. And Merkman gets brought down immediately, 120 with no buyback. Dopey, he's on the high ground. He'll give up the rapier. My Little Cody is the one to pick it up. Meanwhile, Leistrom is trying to get away here. Or Leslarm, I don't know. Gamful will bring down Loki's in the bottom lane. But he does get a ranged Rax in the meantime. Now Senpai, please notice me, is chasing. The Boots of Travel is coming on in. Jack attack with the Sonic Wave goes forward. On to Dopey. This is the, not Aghanim, not Rapier. Instead, that went to the Sven. As Dopey turns around on the Jack attack, who is now in a bit of trouble, but will get herself away. In the meantime, Senpai, please notice me, comes on in. But the Dire have held, and the Radiant have been forced off once again.
And it's off.
Approaching 100 minutes. And a game of Dota. Nearly 2 hours spent talking about Dota. And so, Boots of Travel becoming the norm. In fact, who doesn't have Boots of Travel at this point? Loki's doesn't. Larzern doesn't. Dopey does. Thosho does not. Merkman does not. Jack Attack does. Liking My Chances does. My Little Coney does. Senpai Please Notice Me does. And of course, Disconnected does not. So, I guess the Dire, everyone who matters has a Boots of Travel out and about, ready to go. Radiant, only 1 or 2. I think actually only 1. Yeah, so Shadow Fiend, meanwhile, he'll purchase up a Moonshard to take place of the Rapier that he lost. And he doesn't have to spend it, so, I mean, getting that extra 120 attack speed, hitting near max without the Mask of Madness popped. So you can just see his attack speed. I mean, he's pretty much canceling Roshan's every attack. Look at that. When he triple bashes, it's like Roshan's having a stroke. You know, singing Elton John. Heart attack, you ought to know. Finally, a bash comes down to Dopey. Meanwhile, but this is just I just don't know. He actually ate the Moonshard, so he's hitting significantly slower. I mean, not significantly, but 2 attacks per second now instead of just over 2. So Roshan, not long for this world. Thosho will grab a cheese, meanwhile. And, oh no. Oh no, the Dire! The Dire! They could win this! Dopey, he's trying to stop him! The Echo Slams do what they can, but they're ancient! Oh my lord, and I almost missed that. I came this close to missing that. Dear God. Well, that's it. 100 minutes into the game. Dear Lord. All right. Well, that's it for this game, folks. If you guys enjoyed the cask, if you're still watching, I commend you. If you enjoyed it, I hope you follow me, you know, like, favorite the video, do whatever that whole shtick is. If you want your own replay casted, you can go check out the description of this video, or, you know, go to dotacasters.com. If it is under not under construction anymore, I know at the time of recording this, it is not up yet, or it's up, but it doesn't really do anything yet. But if it is working by the time you're viewing this and you want your own replay casted, I strongly recommend it. A whole host of casters like myself and a whole lot of, well, it's just a great platform to use. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and this has been the Golden Aegis Cast Series. I'm Chicago Ted. I'll catch you all next time.